and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another pen for review. This is a Leonardo pen, and I would like to thank John at stjohnspens.com for loaning me this pen for review. This is a really nice pen, and this is a Bespoke Leonardo Momento Zero. So let's open the box and I'll show you the pen. So you have the Leonardo name there in the top of the box. You have a bottle of ink, and then you have this pen. And let me remove this pen from the box, and I will show it to you in a lot more detail here. So this is the pen, and this is a Leonardo, and it's a Bespoke Leonardo Momento Zero MasterPiece in the Omas black and gold acrylic. And this is has a medium nib, and it's a limited edition number of 7. And this is quite a beautiful pen, and I think if I can show you that there, you'll see Leonardo and the number 7 there as well. 4 of 7. So this is an interesting pen. So it is a standard Momento Zero size, so it's not a large Momento Zero, and I can show you the difference. Here is a standard Momento Zero, and here is a Grande Momento Zero. So you can see that there is a bit of a difference there in those sizes. So it is a regular Momento Zero, but this material is quite nice. So you'll find here with Momento Zeros that it does have a conical point here, and it will the cap will taper down to that conical point, and it will taper out to essentially a cap band here, which you can see you've got the Leonardo cap band, and then there's a little bit more acrylic here and a slight peak of that ink window there, and then it tapers down to this trim here, gold trim, and then onto the piston knob. And if I unscrew the cap, you'll see here it has a 14 karat gold nib, and it's a medium nib. This is a Leonardo Jovo nib, but it has this massive ink window, and this is a piston filling pen. But this material it's an acrylic material, but it's actually semi-translucent. You can see when I push the nib in and out of that cap, you can see that there. And then when I screw it down, the ink window disappears, but still peeks out a little bit. So you can see the ink level in that pen even when the cap is on, which is actually a nice touch, I think. But this acrylic is actually quite a nice acrylic, black and yellow or gold. It's quite a nice color here, and a limited edition of only 7. So this is pretty limited. In terms of Momento Zeros, they are pretty decent sized pen. They are not quite oversized pens, but it does fit in the size of my hand quite nicely. I can post the cap, and it will post deeply and securely as well. So for me, that's quite nice. I'm not normally a cap poster, but I know a lot of you are. But this actually feels well balanced in my hand. You can also see the ebonite feed there as well, and that is quite a slimline feed for that nib. But that is a really nice looking pen. So I think with that, let's do a size check. We'll do a weight check. We'll do a pen comparison, and then we'll do a writing sample. So the length of the pen, we are looking about 145 millimeters in length. The length of the cap, we're looking about 70 millimeters in length. And then we'll do a check on the size of the body of the pen, we're looking about 132 millimeters in length. So I normally would say a 132 millimeter pen is bordering on oversize. I think that's a pretty good size, but it's not a massively oversized pen. So I think let's do a weight check. Now, this is a piston filling pen and it's not inked up at the moment. So we're looking at about just over 24 grams in weight. The weight of the cap, I want to say, is pretty light. And it's 8 grams exactly. And then the weight of the body, you're looking at just over 16 grams in weight. So that is quite a light pen for sure. So if you're into light pens, this definitely could be a pen for you, because you will find that this is a very light pen. So I think with that, let's do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have a Cross Peerless 125 in platinum, a Cross Peerless 125 in titanium, a Cross Peerless 125 in quartz blue, an Esterbrook SD Oversize, and this is the Gold Rush Prospector. We have a Leonardo, and the name of this is the Bespoke Leonardo Memento Zero Masterpiece in the Omas Black and Gold Acrylic. We have a Leonardo, and this is the Memento Zero Grande. We have a regular size Leonardo Memento Zero. We have an Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra, and this is in the wild. We have a Wild Eversharp Deco Band Oversize, and then we have another Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra in the black and gold Lucians. So I think let's now go into a writing sample. So this is going to be a bit of a mouthpiece. So this is a Bespoke Leonardo Memento Zero. I'm going to abbreviate that, and it's a Masterpiece and it's in the Omas black and gold acrylic. Now, I'm going to write Omas black and gold B&G, and the nib is a medium nib, and it's a 14 karat gold nib. I have to wonder if Italians go into competition trying to make the longest name of pen. It really does create me some issues trying to write out the name on paper. The ink in here I've inked up today is Diamine Ochre. I probably could have put a black ink or gold ink in here, but I thought I would stick to something more brown. So Diamine Ochre. Now, in terms of line variation, I would say that you're getting probably a Western Fine out of this nib. Just double checking, it is a medium. I can push a little bit harder, but it's a 14 karat gold nib, so I'm not going to push any harder. This is quite a rigid, stiff nib, so I wouldn't want to push any harder than that. But you can see there's no hard starts or skips there with that nib, which is good. In terms of ink wetness, let's take a look. In terms of nib wetness, and we'll do a cross pass as well. So this is quite a wet nib. It's not a fire hose nib, but it's still pretty wet. So for me, this is a nice writer. I would say it writes maybe a little bit more towards a Western Fine that I would say than a medium. But then again, a lot of the mediums I have are typically more writing towards a broad. But you can get a slight variation, line variation out of this nib if you wanted to. What do I like? What do I dislike about the pen? I like the model, the Memento Zero. I typically myself prefer the Grande model. If I were to go and buy this pen, I would typically want it in the Grande. But I know a lot of people actually dislike the Grande because it's too large. So a lot of people do prefer the regular Memento Zero size of pens. This has an interesting ink window. I would say that I'm a little bit on the fence on whether or not I want to see the ink showing out of the pen whilst it's capped. I typically think the way that most caps hide the ink window is normally better, but I know a lot of people have wanted to check the ink level on a pen without having to uncap the pen. So I think there's probably half of you will probably be in the camp of wanting the ink window hidden, and the other half probably wanting to see the ink window. I think that it doesn't show the entire ink window. It's better. I've seen stipulas have a large ink window that is fully visible when the cap is screwed on, and I'm not typically a fan of that. So I think what Leonardo have done here is probably the best of both worlds and actually made it quite good. The pen itself, the acrylic is really nice. It is an Omas black and gold acrylic. I wonder if they could make this in a Grande. I suspect that probably the rods are not thick enough, or there's not enough rods. This is a limited edition run, and this is, I'm just looking here, it's 4 of 7. So only 7 of these made worldwide. So very limited. So I'd like to thank John for loaning me the pen for review. If you want to check out John and this pen and other pens, you can check John out at stjohnspens.com. You can also check him out on St John's Pens on Instagram. John also goes to a lot of the UK pen shows and now European pen shows. So if you don't want to buy online and you want to see and maybe try a pen in person, then do try and get to a pen show that John is going to. So again, I'd like to thank John for the loan of this pen for review. This is my Bespoke Leonardo Memento Zero Masterpiece in Omas black and gold acrylic with a medium 14 karat gold nib. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.